You know those news stories that just make you go, can you not? Well, here's one of them. Norwegian company Equinor has been given the okay to go look for oil in the Great Australian Bight, which is the southern coast with that inwards curve. So the body of water nearest to where I live. And it's just like, how about no? I quite like the development of the ABC headlines on this matter. Equinor wins environmental approval to explore for oil in the Great Australian Bight. Equinor defends Great Australian Bight drilling plans as fear of an oil spill continues. Equinor one step closer to drilling for oil in the Great Australian Bight. Now this has some audio, so let's have a little listen.
Each year, about 90 new oil exploration wells are drilled in Australian oceans. But while many go unopposed and even unnoticed,
go do a quick Sam Cedar and pause it. Well, that says a lot about the job you're doing there, ABC. How else are we meant to know about these things? Anyways, carrying on.
A plan by a Norwegian company to drill in the Great Australian Bight continues to cause controversy. And now it's one step closer. Rhett Burney explains.
In the deep, dark waters 480 kilometres west of Port Lincoln in South Australia lies what Norwegian energy giant Equinor believes to be a site of untapped oil and economic prosperity.
We are currently planning for drilling during next summer, which means that we should be ready to start drilling in November 2020.
That's Equinor's Jonas Stungland. Under Commonwealth law, energy companies like Equinor must have a petroleum licence, accepted environmental plan, well operations management plan and facility safety case before drilling for oil can go ahead. Last night, the National Offshore Petroleum Safety and Environmental Management Authority, or NOPSEMA, gave Equinor's environmental plan approval. It means it's just 2 steps away from being given the go-ahead. The South Australian Chamber of Mines and Energy says the decision by NOPSEMA to approve the environmental plan, or EP, is an important one. And if the oil flows, so too will the jobs. CEO Rebecca Knoll.
They spoke to over 400 community groups, and they've been completely transparent throughout this process. They published their EP ahead of submitting their EP, which was a significant step. This gave the general public an opportunity to comment on the EP before they even submitted it to the regulator.
Resources Minister Matt Canavan says Bass Strait's oil supply is drying up and the Bight could solve the problem.
Bass Strait is declining, basically gone as an oil-producing province. And if we don't replace that, we'll struggle to keep those manufacturing jobs in southern Australia. So that's primarily why it's important.
But large parts of the community remain staunchly opposed to drilling in the Bight, fearful of the effect it will have on the marine life, especially if there were to be an oil spill. Equinor's own modelling shows if the worst-case scenario did happen, oil slicks would reach as far as southern Victoria and northwestern Tasmania. This Adelaide man summed up what many are worried about, calling into ABC Radio during a talkback segment.
I'm just sitting in the car, wild, that I just can't believe, Australia's burning right now. We're a global crisis. And this, to agree that we want to drill in our Great Australian Bight, there'll be jobs when the oil leaks and we're all on the beach mopping up the black.
The Greens Senator, Sarah Hanson-Young, agrees.
We've got to stop this, and it's now in the hands of the Prime Minister. He needs to step in and protect South Australia, protect our fishing and tourism jobs, protect our pristine marine wilderness, our whale sanctuary, and protect our planet.
But Rebecca Knoll from the South Australian Chamber of Mines and Energy says that's just hysteria.
There's a lot of misinformation also in the community, and it's not helped by alarmist language. It's really, we find very unhelpful in this conversation. What South Australians want are jobs. They want economic prosperity.
Equinor's Jonas Stungland says the company will continue to consult with communities and safety remains its top priority.
And we will work and prepare both the safety case and the well operation management plan in the coming period. And that needs to be in place before we can start any operation.
Equinor's Jona Stungland ending that report by Rhett Burney.
There is a lot to unpack there, I know. So, let's get cracking. First of all, what do you mean November 2020? Fuck. Secondly, Green Senator Sarah, yep, if it's up to the Prime Minister, we are fucked. The guy that called into the Talkback radio show, my guy, spot on. Couldn't have said it better myself. I didn't even first think of, oh yeah, there'll be jobs when we have to clean up the oil slick, which then further goes to Rebecca Knoll? The woman that spoke on behalf of South Australians, which I resent, because what do you know, lady? I reckon that the guy who called the Talkback radio speaks more for South Australians than you do. Hysteria, you say? Well then, even in this same piece of audio, the reporter says that the company's own research says that an oil slick could reach Victorian shores, Tasmanian shores, and that would probably then mean all of South Australian shores. Like, adding to climate change all aside, let's have a look at this company's history and oil slicks, shall we? I'll go through my research methods with you guys to show you how it is all very simple, and I encourage everyone to do the same things. Alright, we're at the company's Twitter page, and as we go for a little scroll down, I'll take a moment to also touch on the other amazing part of what the woman said in that audio about the jobs. Oh yes, the jobs. You know that machines do a lot of this? Jobs. I bet you they're not even Australians that come and do them. The half a dozen people that do come and look for the oil. Pretty much the exact same thing I've said about coal mines. I apply the same thing for freaking oil drilling. Alright. Speaking of which, oh, would you look at that? September. That was only a couple of months ago. Bahamas after Hurricane Dorian. How's that for alarmism, Rebecca Knoll? Is this not helpful to the conversation? The company that's just been granted having to clean up an oil spill a couple of months ago? What, you can guarantee that no natural disasters will come through and fuck anything up? Well, that's a brave claim. That's a very, very, very bold claim of you, Rebecca. And it was as easy as that, to make a CEO of something sound like an absolute idiot and point out how stupid what she says is. All we have to do is go to the Twitter page of the company she's gone into bat for. People make this too easy. Come on, ABC, cheers for the leads, but now can you just get someone there to do a shred of what I do here? Final point. Back to the audio. Fuck you, Matt Caravan. You're just a fucking shithead. I'm done with this. Link will be below for Fight for the Bite. This is beyond the joke. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Have a good one.